What if I told you that most millionaires don't drive flashy cars, wear designer clothes, or live in giant mansions? What if I told you that many of them are your neighbors, your teachers, or even the quiet person who serves you coffee every morning? It sounds crazy, right? We've been taught to believe that wealth is loud, extravagant, and reserved for a lucky few. But the truth is, most millionaires are normal people, just like you and me. They build their wealth quietly, consistently, and without anyone noticing. In this video, I'm going to reveal the secrets of these undercover millionaires. I'll share their surprising habits, their simple strategies, and the powerful mindset that allows them to build extraordinary wealth from ordinary lives. And I'll show you how you can do it too. The undercover millionaire. Let me tell you a story about a man named David, a high school history teacher. David was a great teacher. He was passionate, engaging, and his students loved him, but no one would have ever guessed that he was a multimillionaire. David drove a 10-year-old Honda, lived in a modest 3-bedroom house, and packed his own lunch every day. He didn't take exotic vacations or buy the latest gadgets. His life looked, well, normal. But behind the scenes, David was a master of a simple, powerful secret. For over 30 years, every single month, he saved and invested a small portion of his teacher's salary. He didn't try to get rich quick. He didn't chase risky investments. He just consistently put his money to work. And over time, the magic of compound interest turned his small, regular savings into a fortune. This is the reality for most millionaires. They are not lottery winners or high-flying CEOs. They are everyday people who understand that wealth isn't about what you earn. It's about what you keep. The power of small, consistent actions. Imagine you're at the top of a snowy mountain with a tiny snowball in your hands. You give it a little push and it starts to roll. At first it's slow and small, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and faster. By the time it reaches the bottom of the mountain, it's a giant boulder. This is the power of compound interest. It's the engine that drives quiet wealth creation. And it's a force that anyone can use, no matter how small they start. Think about it. If you save just $5 a day, the price of a fancy coffee, and invest it, you could have over $1 million in 40 years. That's the power of small, consistent actions. It's not about having a lot of money to start with. It's about starting with what you have and being consistent. It's about choosing to pay your future self first, before you pay for anything else. The boring businesses that create wealth. We often think that millionaires are created in Silicon Valley or on Wall Street. But the truth is, many of them are created on Main Street, through businesses that most people would consider boring. I once met a woman who owned a chain of laundromats. She wasn't a tech genius or a famous entrepreneur. She was a single mom who saw a need in her community and decided to fill it. Her business wasn't glamorous, but it was profitable, and over the years it made her a millionaire. Another man I know built a fortune with a garbage collection service. He started with one truck and a lot of hard work. Today, he has a fleet of trucks and a team of employees. He's providing a valuable service to his community and building a legacy for his family. These are the kinds of businesses that quietly create wealth. They are not on the cover of magazines, but they are the backbone of our economy, and they are a powerful reminder that you don't need a revolutionary idea to become a millionaire. You just need to solve a problem and serve people well. The art of saying no. One of the most important skills of a quiet millionaire is the art of saying no. They say no to lifestyle inflation. They say no to keeping up with the Joneses. They say no to the pressure to look rich. Let me tell you about a couple named Mark and Sarah. They were both successful lawyers, and they could have afforded a much bigger house, fancier cars, and more expensive vacations. But they chose to live differently. They lived in a small, comfortable house in a middle-class neighborhood. They drove used cars and cooked most of their meals at home. They chose to invest their money in their future rather than in their image. Their friends and family didn't understand it. They thought Mark and Sarah were cheap or strange, but Mark and Sarah didn't care. They knew that true wealth is not about what you show, it's about what you have. And they had something that most people only dream of: financial freedom. The freedom mindset. For the quiet millionaire, wealth is not a trophy. It's a tool. It's a tool that gives them freedom, security, and the power to live life on their own terms. I once read a story about a nurse named Emily who worked for 20 years in a stressful, demanding job. She was good at her job, but it was draining her. She dreamed of a simpler life, a life where she could spend more time with her family and pursue her passion for painting. So for 20 years, Emily saved and invested her money. She lived a modest life, but she had a big dream, And when she finally reached her financial goal, she did something that shocked everyone. She quit her job. Today, Emily lives in a small cottage by the sea. She spends her days painting, gardening, and enjoying the simple pleasures of life. She is not a millionaire because she wanted to be rich. She is a millionaire because she wanted to be free. The generational wealth mindset. Quiet millionaires don't just think about their own future. They think about the future of their families. They think about the legacy they will leave behind. They teach their children about money, not by giving them everything they want, but by teaching them the value of work, saving, and investing. They teach them that money is not a toy, but a tool. And they teach them that the greatest inheritance they can receive is not a trust fund, but a strong financial education. I know a family where the parents started a small investment account for each of their children when they were born. Every month, they would deposit a small amount of money into the accounts and teach their children how to track their investments. By the time the children were adults, they had a significant amount of money in their accounts. But more importantly, they had the knowledge and the discipline to manage their money wisely. They were not just given wealth. They were taught how to create it. Actionable steps. So, how can you start your own journey to becoming a quiet millionaire? It's simpler than you think. Here are a few things you can do today. Start a rainy day fund. Open a separate savings account and start putting away a small amount of money each week. This will be your safety net for unexpected expenses. Learn one new thing about investing. You don't need to be an expert to start investing. Just commit to learning one new thing about it each week. Read a book, listen to a podcast, or watch a video. The more you learn, the more confident you will become. Track your spending. For 1 week, write down every single dollar you spend. You'll be surprised at where your money is going. This will help you identify areas where you can cut back and save more. Automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings or investment account. This way, you'll be paying your future self first, without even thinking about it. Conclusion. Becoming a quiet millionaire is not about luck or privilege. It's about mindset, habits, and discipline. It's about choosing to live differently, to value freedom over status, and to build a future of your own design. The path is not always easy. It requires patience, consistency, and the courage to ignore the noise of the world. But it is a path that is open to everyone, and it is a path that leads to a life of true wealth, freedom, and abundance. So, what are you waiting for? Your journey to becoming a quiet millionaire starts today. It starts with one small step, and it starts with you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell.